It's a hot summer day in 2014, and I get one of my dad's infamous group texts. It's to me and my siblings, Sierra, Roger, and Brittany. It has 3 lines. I have liver disease. May need a piece of one of yours. Love you, Dad. I groan internally both at this news and his unceremonious delivery of it. But this is just how our dad communicated. A traumatic brain injury and 40 years of chronic pain made him unflinching about everything. Growing up, I couldn't be more different. I was nervous about everything. A hypochondriac before WebMD was even a thing. I was regularly tracking my dad down, confidently listing my unfounded ailments. A heart attack, appendicitis, maybe internal bleeding, maybe all of them at once. Day after day, my dad pulls me into his lap with his big, tan, calloused hands, his musky cologne in my nostrils, and listens to me very intently, nodding along with every sob. He looks me very seriously in the eyes and says, not to be scared, that it would be unusual for an 8-year-old to have a heart attack, that I don't really need an appendix anyway, but he'll be on the lookout for symptoms, and that no matter how much my siblings tickle me, it's probably caused no lasting damage. I always say that I got my sense of humor from my dad. He says that he got his from me. One summer, we spend hours together at my kitchen table, poring over a tiny joke book I got at a book fair. He laughs at all the right moments, laughs harder when I make my own improvement to a joke, and continues to laugh as I theatrically practice my joke delivery over and over and over again. We had a really special relationship. But as I grew up, things changed. A few weeks into my senior year of high school, I'm seated at that same kitchen table doing physics homework when I see my dad for the first time in days. He stumbles up from the basement and his hair is all messed up, and he looks really unwell. He grunts in my direction, and it dawns on me that it's not just that he's unwell. He's high, really high. And in fact, I don't remember the last time I saw him sober. I picture myself reaching out to him, hugging him, searching his cloudy eyes for the dad that I miss, but I don't. Instead, I feel a tight heat in my chest and face, and I start to cry as he leaves the room. I went away to college the next year. I got older, and my resentment grew as Dad became sicker and sicker. I wasn't surprised to hear that he had liver disease, and I wasn't surprised every time he fiercely denied that mixing alcohol with his pain meds, with his liver disease, could possibly hurt him. And then in January of 2021, he was admitted to the hospital that he was born in, that I was born in, that he had nearly died in twice before. This time he was there for liver and kidney failure. I could feel in my bones that I needed to go home. So I book my flight for the next day and I head out for a run to clear my head. I'm just getting back and I'm wiping sweat and tears from my face when I get a call from him. The liver failure is causing a buildup of ammonia in his brain and he is barely lucid. With slurred and stilted speech, he asks me, "What is hospice?" Because the nurses keep saying that's where he's going next. My stomach falls out of my body and the world grows so quiet that I can't bring myself to say what I'm sure he already knows, which is that it means he's dying. So instead, I hear myself say, "I love you, Dad. Don't be scared. I'll be there soon." He pauses a few moments and says, "I'm glad you're finally using your vacation time, but you should really go somewhere more fun." My siblings and I descend on Reno. It's in the heat of the pandemic and nurses are hard to come by, so we take on the monumental task of caring for our dad at the end of his life. Nothing and no one could have prepared us to confront death in such a visceral way. But Dad was unflinching about it. We ask, "Are you comfortable?" And he says, "Yes, but I can't believe that fucking bird," talking about a family parrot, "will outlive me." My sister, Brittany, and I make eye contact and barely contain our shocked laughter. The next few days are a blur. At some point, I take Dad's jaundiced hand in mine and whisper for the 100th time, "I love you." His eyes flutter open and he says slowly, "We did good, kid, didn't we?" My heart breaks all over again. It doesn't even occur to me that this will be the last thing that he says to me. Even after he loses the ability to talk or respond much at all, I keep trying to find something profound or clever to say. I'm desperate and fixated, trying to make him laugh just one more time. It's as if I can think of the perfect last words to say to him, then maybe they won't be last words at all. Maybe we can get a do-over of our lives and write a different ending. In the end, I don't even remember the last thing I said to him. I fell asleep that night listening to old voicemails from Dad. And I woke up to a call from my brother, Roger. "Hey, sis, Dad's gone." Knowing that it was coming didn't make it any easier. I was there with my sister, Sierra, and we just hug and cry and we pull on clothes as we run to the car. When we pull up to my dad's place, there were sirens and police cars and EMS just leaving. So I see Roger and I just barrel into his arms and I say, "Hello, what's going on? Why are the police here?" He runs his hands through his hair and says, "KK, you're not gonna believe this. Somebody tried to break into the house." The what? The house, at the exact moment that Dad died. My jaw hits the floor. Apparently, my stepmom saw the would-be burglar, called the police. When the police showed up, they thought that my dad was a homicide victim. They were checking for wounds. They nearly pulled a gun on my brother. And nobody saw where the would-be intruder ran off to. I'm so steeped in grief and disbelief at this point, I start laughing as tears keep rolling down my face. As it turns out, Dad was the one to make me laugh. Just one more time. The story and his maybe burglar, maybe Grim Reaper in disguise became part of the legend of his life. It's a story I think he would have loved, and it's one I just wish I could tell to him.